right. So just to back it up a little bit, we were in the Sears Roebuck store. Mike and I were busy doing our part of the deal. We looked up, we saw Gary exiting through the north entrance. Perfect. Mike and I took our stuff and exited through the south entrance. No one followed us. It was perfect. We were out in the parking lot making our way, going to that orchard in back where we would become smokers. When all of a sudden we heard a voice say, "Young men, hold it right there." Mike and I looked at each other, so cocky, just, who are we going to outrun? And we looked at the guard, and as I told you, he was almost retired, 30 years old or so, and, well, we knew we could outrun him. But that look also told us instantly that we wouldn't be outrunning him because of what he had in his hand. He had Gary. We hadn't fooled them at all. We saw Gary get out the door with no one following, but they caught up to him and brought him all the way through the store, out the south door, and then they had him. And they were dangling him like bait. And we were hooked. We were not going to leave our best friend. We turned and followed the security guard and Gary back into Sears and went into a picturesque room that most of you have probably never seen. It's the security room tucked away in Sears, and they said, "Empty your pockets." So slowly, Mike and I reached into our pockets, and Mike pulled out the corncob pipe and put it down, and I pulled out the amphora tobacco. They were looking. Mike pulled out the pipe cleaners, put them down. One by one, everything came out. The Zippo lighter, the flints, the can of lighter fluid. And they were looking at each other like, yeah, we've got these guys. And then I reached further into my pants and pulled out a faux crystal ashtray. And when I put that on the desk, I thought I saw even a look of possible admiration in the security guard's eyes. "You stole an ashtray?" Well, I read it was really important to be careful with. Enough! Grief, kids. Soon, Gary, Mike, and I had a chance to talk over what had gone wrong as we huddled together in the back seat of the Mountain View police car on our way to being booked. When we got to the station, they fingerprinted us, took down our information. They didn't bother with mugshots. We weren't that much of a threat, apparently. But they got all the basic information and set a court date. And then they had us go and sit down on a bench. We started conferring. We wanted to get our story straight. The policeman was over there like lightning. "Stop! No talking." That really slowed time down for us. We sat there, unable to talk. We waited. After a while, Gary's mom came in. She looked at me like I was the devil, taking her son to hell. I looked at her and I thought, I wish I could share with her my plan for mentoring Gary. It didn't seem like the time. So I sat there. Mike's mom arrived and glared at me too. She knew me really well. We'd known her for years. She still glared at me and took Mike. And I sat there. And I waited for my mom to come and get me. And I waited for hours. And hours, all by myself. Watching them bring in one real criminal after another. Book them. People like Stephen. Encyclopedia sales without a license. And then they'd lead him down a corridor. I'd hear the cell door shut and the key turn. It echoed. I thought, oh, I never want to be in the cell. And then after I'd been waiting about 4 hours, I heard the desk sergeant look at one of the others and say, "I think we'll have to get him a cell for the night. His mom had to work late at Lockheed. She doesn't know she can come pick him up tonight." And then I heard the other one say, "Oh, that's not good. The only empty bed we have is in the cell with Bubba." And he does not like sharing his cell. I was really scared, and all I wanted was to go home, to see my loving mother, to be back at home. And about an hour later, the doors of the police station opened. It was my mom. Oh boy, it was Mom. Oh boy, it was Mom. I'd never seen that look on her face. And I think the policeman felt the same, because they jumped to my defense. Oh, you must be Mrs. Iverson. Oh, this is so unfortunate, but good can come from it. I think they were afraid. They'd seen her face. They were afraid of the paperwork they would have to do if she killed me while we were still inside the station. They let her sign me out, and though I towered over my mom, she somehow managed, with just those 2 fingers on my left ear, to lead me all the way out of the police station on my toes. And all the way to the car, all I was hearing was how disappointed she was. And that got through. That really hurt. I hadn't thought about how this heist would affect anyone besides us. Well, we went home. All 3 parents got together. Worst nightmare for us. They agreed on a 3-month grounding. Now, what they didn't remember or chose to ignore was that they couldn't keep us apart, really. We went to school together. So each morning we would leave for school separate, and when we were out of sight of the houses, we'd get together and walk to school. And we'd leave school together and come home, but before we got inside of the houses, we'd separate. So we could see each other some, but we couldn't play at all for those 3 months, no evening or weekend play. The next time we were allowed to get together was 1 month after our arrest, the day we were due in court. We went to court, appeared before a judge, and he lectured us. He let us know the road we were on and where he thought it would lead. Stealing, wanting to smoke. And he said he had strong suspicions there were other things that our parents and the police weren't aware of that we were probably already involved in. But he was lenient. And he said, if you will keep your noses clean, not one interaction with the police over the next 6 months, then I'll have your records cleared. We thanked him. We did. We had learned our lesson. We kept our noses clean, and 6 months later, our records were cleared. But it was a full 3 months before we could play together. But after that 3 months passed, our parents got together and told us, we think you've learned your lesson. You can play together again. Oh, we were so happy to be together. We were back. Oh, we started planning. We said, what are we going to do this summer? Movies were high on our list. Shoplifting wasn't on the list. Not at all. No shoplifting. We weren't going to do anything that would get us in trouble again. Now, I can tell you that we're 3 young guys finding our way. But to say we were angels, that would be a stretch. Because I can think of those times, the many, many times, when all 3 of us would sneak out of our houses at night after we'd been put to bed. We would gather and we would go to a nearby park to play hide and seek in the dark. You see, Gary loved those special moments when he could just be one of the guys. And when it was dark for Mike and I, Gary could see. The sunglasses came off. Oh, he was so excited. He loved playing hide and seek. We would hear him with such enthusiasm, such excitement, counting to 100. And then when he got to 100, we'd hear his voice, ready or not, here I come. Thank you very much. And our final guide tonight, please welcome Kriya Caping.